Hello, everybody. It's Sandra Pelly, the Sandini, Inner Peace Mentor, Confident Coach, and Visionary of the Guide Academy, coming to you with an incredible guest. Very, very excited to have him here. First of all, I'll let you know that this is sponsored by my book, Sandra Pelly's Spiritual How-To, and that's available on Amazon. And I'm here to bring Benjamin Bernstein, the AstroShaman, on, and his incredible book, Instant Divine Assistance. So I'm going to bring him on, and then I'm going to, hi, Benjamin. I'm going to just
Hi.
share a little bit about him. So Benjamin Bernstein is it Bernstein or Bernstein? My apologies.
It's said both ways. I say Stein myself. Stein is
Okay,
fine.
thank you. Benjamin Bernstein is an awakening facilitator, a shamanic healer, life coach, and award-winning astrologer. He's done over 10,000 sessions with clients worldwide. He lives near Asheville, North
Asheville.
Carolina,
Yeah.
okay, with his beloved life partner, Spirit Song, and this is his first book. His 45-year spiritual path has included Peruvian shamanism, hundreds of ayahuasca ceremonies, and his instant divine assistance, the IDA Invocations. Benjamin devotes special attention to Awakening Plus, his online membership that helps members awaken, heal, and thrive. He also has a podcast called Awaken, Heal, and Thrive, which we just recorded a session for, and you'll be able to hear that, I believe, in the upcoming week here.
Yeah,
In the
it'll go live
meantime,
Tuesday. Yeah.
in the meantime, here is the beautiful Benjamin. What would you like to say first, Benjamin? I know we're kind of just zipping in here after a pretty major meditation over on your spot, but how are you doing?
I'm doing beautifully. Thank you. Really
Good.
honored to be here on your show.
Beautiful. Thank you. I see we actually have a lot of watchers already, so I just love that. Before we get started, you can find Benjamin's work over on Astro Shaman. He also has a link there for his book. And, it's really interesting because I have all kinds of questions about the book. I happened to jump in on the beginning there where I got to get the book. And that very first, like, I know I'm jumping in really quickly, but so let me just take a step back, take a breath. Everybody, let's breathe. I am open with no expectations, no limitations, and I'm okay with the outcome. Just beautifully setting the space for Benjamin and myself. Thank you for holding space while I did that. First of all, what an incredible journey you've had with your life. I just love the different things that you've done, and then this book has been. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to write a book and this is what it's going to be about. No, you were divinely guided to write this book. So maybe tell us a little bit about that preamble before actually writing the book. How did it come to be?
The book, in a sense, started over 11 years ago when I was in an ayahuasca ceremony, and out of the blue, these invocations just popped into my head by divine inspiration. I had no expectation they were coming. They were literally just brand new material for me. And so I'm in an ayahuasca ceremony, and but when you're in ayahuasca, the medicine can talk to you. You can totally have internal conversations when you're in your ceremonial space. And you said, okay, if you will say these words, it will take you to awakening. And if you say these other words, you'll call in your own healing. And either way, you just let go, and you've basically delegated the work to your higher self, which can do this so much better than your personality can. And so this was just astonishing to me, because at this point, I had not yet locked into embodied awakening. That was still a year out, roughly. But she gave me this tool, and sure enough, right there in the ceremony, I did the embodied awakening invocation, and I went right into embodied awakening. And what that technically means is the question you can ask to see if you are: if four things are true, you're there. If there's no mental chatter, no challenging emotion, it's peaceful and it's totally effortless, then that's embodied awakening. And sure enough, I got there, and I didn't do the healing invocation then. She was already healing me plenty that ceremony. And then as soon as I was done, I turned to the woman next to me and said, I just got this amazing download. I got this invocation for awakening. Would you like to try it? And she did it, and she went into awakening within seconds. And then there were three other people watching me work with her that said, oh, we want to try that. And I did it with them, and it worked for them too. So at least in an ayahuasca ceremony, it works. But then again, I started doing it afterwards with people who were just in regular consciousness, and it worked with them too. And so after 11 years, I've literally done this now with thousands of people, and it works the vast majority. I mean, I'm not saying it works with every single person, but I'd say over 99% of the time, if a person really says the words and just relaxes, they will, within a very brief time, move into embodied awakening.
I love that. I guess too, though, like when we talk about that, and we'll just talk about them very briefly, that small percentage that it doesn't work with, that's more the mindset and maybe not being willing to accept, trust, and believe and step into the energy of the possibilities, right?
That's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that myself, when I did the very first one in there, the embodying awakening one, like, as you were just talking about, I was in awe. Like I did it, and like you said, it was like boom. I was there and in that space, and what a beautiful space to be in.
Yeah, and the great thing is it can keep getting better. Another little story I'd love to share is the next year when I did a really deep dive dieta in Peru. I was in this jungle for like a month doing 10 ayahuasca ceremonies without leaving the jungle. In ceremony number 8, I finally got what I came for. I had made clear to the medicine, I'm coming to do this intense immersion. I want to walk out of here with a permanent awakened state. I don't want it to ever leave again. And she gave that to me in the 8th ceremony. And I'm laying there for a day and a half before the next ceremony in my little hut in the jungle. And I'm in a state of ecstasy I couldn't even have imagined. I mean, I didn't know that kind of bliss was even possible. And I was honestly wondering, did I just go all the way to source? I mean, if it gets any better than this, I can't imagine. Right. And so, and I wasn't sure, but it turned out that was just the starting line. And then since then, I've had lots more awakenings. And for me, anyway, awakening is an incremental process. And you know how some people say it doesn't get any better than this? I have the opposite motto, which is it always gets better than this. And what I've learned is Benjamin, that part of me, literally cannot imagine what the next awakening could possibly be like. Once he experiences it, then, oh, that's the next one. I get it. And you can be it, experience it, but there's no words. It's just pointless to try to put it in words.
Yeah.
But you can be it and hold that until the next awakening comes. And I think, at least I'm not saying there can't be a human who just locks all the way in and they're done. You know, some people report that. That's not been my experience. But I think for most of us anyway, no matter how awake we are, there's still the possibility of an even deeper awakening. And the beautiful thing about this embodied awakening invocation, however awake you are, it can possibly take you deeper. Yeah. And so I like to think I like to say, I have a little riddle. What's the biggest room in the world? And the answer is room for improvement.
That's right.
So I don't care how awake I am. I'm open to it getting even more awesome. Yeah.
Exactly. What I love about this conversation is the fact that I have really been shifting in my own awareness in a really big way. November this year has been mind-blowing what's occurred for myself. And I'm willingly stepping into shifting past the human concept of things. And I think that is essentially what you're talking about. Like, we only have this human idea, oh, this is how far I can go, this is how far I can go, right? But when we shift out of that human concept of what we think we can do and open up to the possibilities of what we're capable of possibly of doing, holy wow. And that's what you're talking about right there with the different levels.
Yeah, I can speak of Benjamin in the third person because I'm more than Benjamin consciously. And Benjamin has no clue what's possible. He can't. It's literally by definition beyond imagination. I mean, I've tried, and I worked for years trying to imagine, but it turns out Adyashanti, the great non-dual teacher, nailed it. He says, if you have an awakening and it's what you thought it was going to be, it's not a real awakening.
That's right.
Because the best way I can explain the limitation of the ego is you've got nested bodies like Russian dolls. Okay, you got physical on the inside, then the energy bodies beyond that are emotional, mental, and then there's the spiritual bodies beyond that. And the mental body, by definition, cannot comprehend the spiritual levels. It just can't. It's like asking a 2-year-old to understand advanced calculus. It ain't going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So Benjamin tried for years to intellectually understand this. Finally, he gave up. And it was a blessing. So finally, I don't have to try to figure that out. I just can't. It's not my job. I get to have the benefit of the ecstasy. I get the experience of it. But, even when I sit at my mesa every morning, I feel energies moving and things happening. And I know, okay, me trying to understand this with my left brain, never going to happen. I can let the divine do its thing with me. It's like the comprehensions above my pay grade, but the experience is mine. I don't have to understand it intellectually to get the complete benefit of the consciousness and the experience. And
Exactly.
once I gave up the intellectual approach, it opened a whole new world for me. Yeah.
I want to take just a small little step back for those of you for those who are listening who may be on a different level than yourself in this moment. I know that we hear the words, "Oh, you're not supposed to say you're a shaman." Well, you're an astral shaman. I'm the galactic shaman, is what I've been told by others.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about your mesa, maybe just give people kind of like a quick little overview of what you mean by your mesa and what that means for you. What is this sacred space that you're speaking about with your mesa?
Okay, in South American shamanism, they usually sit on the floor at a mesa, and that's a textile, a cloth on the floor, and there are sacred objects on it. Usually there's stones and feathers and crystals and whatever they put on there. Often there's a little, crucifix in the middle. I don't use one, but that's common down there. So it's an altar. It's a sacred place. And I find it helpful to use a mesa. I totally don't need one. You can get to a point where you become the mesa, so to speak, and all the energy you need to do your stuff is inside you, and you don't need anything external at all. But the externals still are useful, and they can be empowering.
I
So
love this.
that's how I would describe that. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. So let me say a little bit about the book. I'm going to literally use your terminology here. It may sound too good to be true, but on today's episode, Today, Here, Now, you'll learn about the astral shaman from Benjamin here, how fast and easy it can be to experience spiritual awakening within seconds just by requesting it from your higher self. That is so important because I work with the higher self energy very much so too. Quickly and permanently heal a serious challenge, even one that's caused you years of physical, emotional, or mental suffering by delegating the work to your inner healer. Call in any kind of energy you want, anytime you want it. Heal and bless others simply by calling it in and being a hollow reed, and thrive in a new normal of harmonious living, enhanced intuition, joyous fulfillment of your responsibilities and bliss. I mean, this just sounds so much like how I'm living my life. And I just love what you're bringing in with this. So where would you like to start with what I just said? Because I know that was a whole lot of information for the listeners.
Yeah, that's the overview of the whole book right there. And let me make sure you're still there because, I see what happened. I'm sorry. I just had a pop up on my screen, but we're still good. Sorry.
Okay.
I got temporarily distracted there. And the great thing about invocation work is if you get distracted, you can just come right back and keep it going.
Yeah.
So the basic simple message of this book is, if your higher self can do it better than your human self, delegate it and passively receive it. That's the magic. So, and I've worked with so many people, and I, for most of my life, was told, okay, you must use discipline and arduous effort, and you, Benjamin, the personality, must make this happen through your own means, right? And there's a lot of paths that are oriented that way, and you can make some progress, and some of them you can have magnificent results. But what I've been downloading, what I am tasked to share, is why not try delegating to the higher self the same stuff and see if it doesn't go a lot faster and a lot easier. And it's totally not cheating. It's just working smart.
Again, I have to say that I absolutely love this because for those who are on here who are my listeners, they so know how much I connect in with the higher self and how I suggest connecting with other people's higher self as well to be doing this type of work, because at that subconscious level, it's absolutely remarkable what happens. So taking that a step further, you're saying call in any kind of energy you want.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, so basically, first off, each one of us is the entire universe and all the dimensions of being. There is nothing that we are not. Thus, we have access to all of it. Every energy, every flavor of energy in the universe is available to be called in. So we have free access. Like imagine a gazillion beer taps out there. Just pull the handle and the energy pours down. Okay. So this is a form of the invocation work called this technically would be a custom invocation where you're calling it in for yourself. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say I'm feeling tired. I want maximum physical vitality that serves highest good. So and the formula for one of these is you say maximum, fill in the blank, that serves highest good, please. And you just plug in whatever it is you're calling in. So let me just do it right now. Maximum physical vitality that serves highest good, please. Then I'd just be passive and relax. And here it comes. Yeah, I feel, oh, there it is. And I'm already full. It took about 2 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was already pretty vital, so I didn't need a lot of topping off. So like the gas tank's already almost full, you just pull the handle. It just takes a moment. So you literally just ask for what you want. You relax. And here's a really critical key for any of these invocations. Your ego must become as passive as possible in order for your higher self to do it for you, because there's this pesky little law of free will. Okay. So I can invoke and I can pray to my higher self. I can invoke from it, say, please do this for me. And if I turn right around and use my ego effort to try to do it for myself, the higher says, oh, darn, I was about to do it for them. And they up and want to do it themselves. I must now honor the law of free will. They are using willpower to try to do this. I have to back off and watch. And until they make space for me to do it for them, there's nothing I can do, or there's less I can do. Okay. So at least in this, I can't speak for other systems of work. There are many systems that do require the ego to do things like that, and that's fine. But in these invocations, as they were given to me, once you delegate to the higher self, you get out of the way, and your human self becomes as passive as possible. And it is your absolute passivity that allows the higher self to do it for you. So
you just brought in a really critical piece. I know I've been working with the medical assistance program by Michelle Small, right? And you're doing the same thing. You're calling in this medical team, this spiritual medical team. Right. And you just answered a really powerful question in that is like, I in the past have maybe going, oh, I need to disconnect from anything. But in reality, when you're connecting consciously to your higher self, you are kind of disconnecting from this way of thought or that way of thought. So I really like what you just brought in. Thank you.
Yeah, what this empowers you to do is you can have stuff happen that you have no idea how to do. Your ego doesn't have to know. And I'm called to share, I've done years of shamanic apprenticeship, shamanic training, learning techniques and tools and strategies. Okay. And 2 of the shamans I worked with gave me a lesson I wasn't ready for at the time. I didn't fully get it. They said, like, let me give for several years, I worked with a woman who did mushroom ceremonies, and I was her formal apprentice. I was sitting there, and once in a while she would let me hold the space of the ceremony or whatever. But toward the end, I was, okay, we're in ceremony. What should I do? She says, just sit and let the allies help you. And she wanted me to be like any other participant and do nothing at all in terms of trying to act like a shaman. Okay. And I was frustrated by that. I don't get it. I'm supposed to be learning. What am I learning here? Right. But eventually, finally, after enough ceremonies, I got it. And it's like this huge light bulb went, okay, my job all this time in my training has been to get clean enough, to get healed enough, to be conscious enough that all of the stuff can happen spontaneously through me. Benjamin, it ends up, didn't have to learn any techniques or tools or strategies. Benjamin had to become a hollow enough reed that in the moment he could then be that vehicle, that clear enough vehicle through which spirit could do things. And now I will get downloads, I will get information, things will start happening, and I'll start doing them that I had no idea about until that moment. And once you get clear and clean enough, then whatever needs to come through you can come through you if you are an appropriate vehicle for it. So, for me, the most profound shamanic training was just showing up and doing my shadow work, doing my process, being willing to face the stuff that will come up when you do shamanic healing work, and being willing not to run away from it, but to face it, use skillful technique like the healing invocation, where you, again, have your higher self do it for you. And just one after face these layers of pain and trauma that come up, peel them, peel them, peel them, peel them. And the more you do that, the more transparent you become, and the better your service can be, and the more awesome your daily consciousness becomes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know you shared quickly one of them, and you just kind of showed us how to go through one. Are you willing to share one of that first one, the embodied
Oh
awakening?
yeah, that's the there's. Let me just, before I do that, let me just give you the overview. There's
Sure.
really two foundational invocations that go hand in hand, and you can do just the embodied awakening, but you'll need the other one at some point. So embodied awakening invocation, the 8 words are maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good please. Remember, this is a template. Maximum, fill in the blank, that serves highest good please. So the most important one is maximum embodied awakening that serves highest good please. If you'll do that and just relax, I mean, the book goes into much more detail about it. They can get the book for like $3 as an ebook on Amazon. And it's A to Z, everything I know about the invocations that I've learned over 11 years. Okay. So if you just do that and just relax, you just basically, you realize, okay, now I have done the yang part by asking and saying the words. Now I got to go in and be passive and let it do it for me. And if you'll just relax and you're at all sensitive, you'll feel energy starting to come in your crown and soaking into your body. The best metaphor is you're a sponge and water is soaking in. The water is your higher self-awareness. And the higher self is very smart and it's monitoring you the whole time. And it knows how much you can handle. And thus overwhelm is not possible. So if there's any fear, oh, it's going to be too much. In 11 years, I've never seen that happen with any invocation I've ever done. It just is not possible because the higher self is too smart for that. Okay. So you relax and you feel this energy coming in, you feel the shift of awareness. And then at some point you feel, okay, I don't feel any more energy coming in. I feel like I've hit equilibrium. The tank is full. And at that point, you've received all the awakening you're ready for at that moment. And then you go about your business. And like I said at the beginning of our conversation, the way you know you're awake in embodied awakening is 4 things are true. There's no mental chatter. There's no challenging emotion. It's peaceful and it's effortless. It's literally holding itself. And that's because that is the consciousness of the higher self. The best words can point at it. The higher self is always that way. It couldn't be any other way. Okay. Now, no mental chatter doesn't mean there's no thought. It means the only thought happening is appropriate, helpful thought that is contextual in what you're doing. Like the radio station metaphor. Okay. In the old days when you had analog radios, if you had a fuzzy station, you might hear that there'd be another station, crosstalk, static. I got some music, but not enough. But when the station's locked in 100%, I've got a full, clear digital signal. That's the only thing I'm hearing. The station is clear and vivid and strong. That's what embodied awakening is like compared to what most people's mind is like, which is like a radio station with other stations drifting in and static and all the mental chatter. So in embodied awakening, you totally have access to thought. You totally have access to emotion, but it's all what's helpful in the moment. And you don't have thoughts and emotions coming in that are not helpful in this moment that you're in.
I know my lips tingled.
Yeah, there's no downside. It's like you when you were on my podcast, we recorded a little while ago, it was exactly what you were describing. You're fully present in 3D, and it's even better. In fact, what I like to say, I like to say there's many benefits to embodied awakening, but here's the 4 that are easiest to describe. Number 1, there's more harmony, flow, ease, and grace. Second, whatever you're responsible for, you'll do more responsibly and more joyfully. There's less having to think because your intuition works better. And with intuition, you just know without having to think. And that's way more efficient. Okay. And then finally, there's more euphoria. And euphoria is just a sense of really awesome feeling in your whole body where it just feels good. It's blissful. Okay. So those are the 4 key benefits of being an embodied awakening. What I recommend in the book is, just fire up that embodied awakening invocation every morning. First thing, why would you want to wait to get into that state? I mean, I want to jump right in, right? So just do it and wait till you're locked in and then go about your business and refresh it if you need it. And people and I have many people who've been doing this for like 10, 11 years. Okay. And they give me feedback. It's okay. When I sit down and do my embodied awakening invocation, I get into the state in 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah. It's like done. Okay, good. I'm there. I can go about do what I need to do. If at any point there's mental chatter, there's challenging emotion, I'm slipping out of the state. I just need to think or say the words again, leave a moment of passivity for it to lock in, and I'm good. And they say the whole day, I might spend 5 or 10 minutes refreshing it as needed. And for that little 5 or 10 minute investment, I get to walk around the whole day in euphoria.
I
Good,
love it.
good return on investment.
Yes.
Nothing you have to buy. There's no course. It's just like it's just so you can do it all yourself. It's like it's so easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so powerful, so powerful. And you said to use it for um, serious challenges. Like I know there's a lot of examples in the book. Did
Yeah.
you want to give maybe an example of how this is used and from some of your people who've been following you?
Yeah. I've had many people report, like I would work with them. Like a lot of people come to me for shamanic healing sessions. Okay. They either do it one-on-one with me or they get into my Awakening Plus membership and we do it as a group process. However they want to do it is fine. But if let's say you have this trauma you've been carrying around like for most of your life and you feel all this pain in your heart chakra and it's like just chronic. So I've had many people say, okay, I tried your healing invocation. I just had maximum healing that serves highest good, please. And the follow-up to the healing invocation is simply feel the pain. Just feel it. Don't, thoughts and images might be there. You ignore them. You let them swirl around in the background. Fine. But your attention is on what you're feeling. And again, you're using the minimum effort to feel it. Okay. And when you do that, you say the words of higher self, get on this. Okay. And then your attention is showing it where to go. And then what happens is the stuff starts vibrating and stirring up, it kind of like gets all stirred up and flushed up. And then once it's stirred up enough, it starts flushing. And most people feel to flush out the hands of the feet. In Peru, they would call this hucha, heavy energy. I just say heavy energy to keep it simple. And you just wait. And the two key things when you're in that part of the process is don't help because your higher self has it covered. It's working as fast as it can always. So step one is be patient enough to give it enough time to heal it. And then the second is to be passive enough. Like I said, if you jump in and start visualizing or trying to do stuff, you just shut your higher self out in this technology. So, but as soon as you go passive again, it's right back on duty. So once you call the healing, you just stay passive, you let it flush. And it may be a few seconds, it may be a few minutes, depends. And the higher self is so smart. Let's say it's a really intense trauma and it knows if I try to take this all out in one round, I would overwhelm that poor soul. I don't want to do that. The higher self says we may need several rounds on this one. Okay. So if you finish and then you still feel a little pain, just okay, round two, say maximum healing that serves highest good, please again, focus again, and guaranteed the second round will be a lot quicker and you do as many additional rounds as you need. And it's very fascinating to me when I'm first working with someone to teach them this and they don't already have something stirred up to work with us. Okay, I want you to recall a past trauma, something that every time you think about it, it causes you pain to think about it. And it could be the worst thing that ever happened or somewhere down the scale. Just anything's fine. It's all safe. So they'll think of it and I'll say, give me a 0 to 10. 10 is just overwhelming almost. And 0 is I don't feel it all. And they say, oh, it's an 8 or a 9. And okay, so good. Now we do our process. And then after the end finishes, I'll say, okay, how does it feel? And they'll say, sometimes I say, wow, I don't feel it at all. Okay. So I have them check their work. I say, okay, I want you to once again remember the detail of the traumatic incident, just what actually happened. And when they bring it up and that's okay, now you've made it as vivid as you can. Yep. So we've already done one round. I say, what's the emotional triggering? They say, it's 0. I'm literally, for the first time in my life, I'm running this trauma and it's not bothering me. And that's how you know that at least, now can I go one layer deeper on the caveat
Yes.
here? Now it's possible. And that can happen in one round. That could have been 10 minutes. That trauma that dogged you for decades is done. And I've seen that happen with many clients. Okay. However, there's the possibility that there could be another layer of the trauma down in the unconscious, and there's no way to know that unless it shows up. Okay. And if so, it's not a big deal because if we've cleared the available layer and then the next layer at the right time comes up and is felt, no problem. Another healing invocation round, we'll take that out too. Okay. So when you get a technology that is this simple and this effective, and you go, wow, I can deal with any trauma in me that comes up potentially. I'm not saying you could take every single thing that's ever happened to you and guarantee this will work. It's worth a shot and it works for a lot of stuff. So I would never be so audacious to say, is this will work for everyone in every instance, but it works a lot. Okay. But give it a shot and give it a try. And if you have the confidence, I have a powerful shadow work tool here because my higher self is an incredibly skilled healer. And if my ego is smart enough to call it in and delegate the healing to it, then I can very rapidly take out stuff. I may have struggled with something for years and be able to take it out in minutes and be done. And can I add one more layer that's a really central theme of the book, which is that great onion of consciousness?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm on a roll here. So it all ties together. Okay. So my belief is each human has a higher self. Okay. And the higher self says, okay, I'm going to take part of me, animate this body. And for a few decades, this little part of me will be thinking it's a human. It'll be, under amnesia to a degree. And this is necessary for the soul growth process. Now I, the higher self, I'm going to be watching it the whole time. And I'll be dropping hints, which we call intuition, and I'll have energy available to it. But even I, the higher self, this is not my first rodeo. I've had other lifetimes. And all these unhealed wounds and traumas that I've worked with, they're like onion layers around me. Okay. So I'm all bright and shiny and awake here in the core, but around me, there's these dark layers of unhealed wounds and traumas. And because that human part of me is down there, these dark layers are between me and it. Or from the human's perspective, I feel some of my light, but I sense there's more. I'm not getting the full deepest awakening I could have. So if Rumi, as Rumi so brilliantly said, I may be not exactly note here perfect on, but the paraphrase of Rumi's little poem is, seek not love, seek to remove the obstacles to love. Seek not awakening, seek to remove the obstacles. So if I can do a piece of shadow work and one of those onion layers peel off and the light seems brighter to me, I just woke up. In fact, you cannot do a good piece of shadow work and not have a little bit of spiritual awakening as a result of that. They just go part and parcel. That one goes to the other. So for most people, based on my experience with this, the fastest way to deepen awakening is to do effective shadow work. And thus having a little tool like the healing invocation to do the shadow work more quickly and effectively on your own is just going to take you into the fast lane. Now, it's not as fast as ayahuasca or the plant spirits, which I still work with and love. But in terms of something you can do on your own, quick, simple, and easy, I have found nothing that works better for me. So that's why I wrote the book, because this technology is working for a lot of people. And if you look on Amazon right now, I think there's 55 reviews. They're all 5 stars. And most of them are just praising the tool and how well and easy it works. And these are people I don't even know, So
can you hold up the cover?
Here.
Can you hold up the book?
Sure. Right. So am I getting in there?
There we go. Yeah.
There's the book.
Instant Divine Assistance, your complete guide to fast and easy spiritual awakening, healing, and more.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
There's the ebook, and the paperback is available. And hopefully by the end of 2022, I'll have an audiobook too. So beautiful. I'm getting ready to record that soon.
Yeah. So I just want to do a quick little recap, because I can definitely see, first of all, why you and I seem to connect so well together, because we're very much in alignment with the how we want to help, how the help wants to come through, the rapidity of something, and how quickly we're capable. And I say that twice, rapidity and quickly, but truly, in essence, what I hear you saying is that for those out there who are looking for some help, and whether this is immediate stuff that's going on in their life, if it's trauma that they've been carrying for decades, this book is going to be a game changer.
Could be.
Because
I can't give an absolute guarantee.
Yeah, fair enough.
All I can say is it's helped a lot of people already, and it could potentially be a game changer. Yeah.
And you know what? I want to. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I understand you're not wanting to go blah 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 with it.
Yeah.
It's my bear with me as I see how this wants to come through. It's been my experience that when we focus in on something and we ask for divine guidance, divine help, whatever, that there will be a transition that happens. And I do this in one manner, you do this in another manner, other people do it in their manners.
Yeah.
And each of us is going to find some way to have this experience. And if they resonate with you, I think they should get the book. You speak very rapidly. I've had people going in here. I'm getting some weird things on the chat, so my apologies here that I got distracted. the fact of the matter is that if you are ready to have some healing done, Benjamin is offering this incredible book at a very decent rate on Amazon and other places. And this could be the answer that you're looking for. I wanted to tell you that because I have gone and I have read the book. I have done the invocations, and even in wherever I am on my journey, it's been really incredible what I've experienced in it. And I think it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, there is probably a likelihood that this will be a very helpful book for you.
And for $2.99, it's not that big a risk.
Exactly. Yeah.
You want to grab the ebook. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There, I got rid of that.
Too, even if they don't want to mess with the book, I have a little free course on my site. If they go to astroshaman.com, and on the menu bar at the top, there's the word invoke. I think it's the word. It's either invocations or IDA invocations. It's the top right corner word. And if they click that, then it will take them to a free little 6-part video series where I walk them through it, step by step on 6 quick little videos. The awakening invocation, the healing invocation, and then how to put them into a daily practice. I've kind of covered that ground here, but there's actual specific guided meditations for each one in the little video series. So if they just want to dip their toe in the water with that, they could start there for free. And then if that works for them, then the book is it's everything right now. It's everything I know about invocations in one place. I worked really hard to put everything I knew into that one book. So if they have good experience with those, then the book would be a good next step. And then if they want to get into a process where they're getting ongoing group support, then my Awakening Plus membership is a container that I've had people stay in there for years and they're still present. And we do like 11 Zoom calls every month where we do live transformational events for healing and awakening and such, and service to the great global awakening. Yeah. Amazingly, 90% of the members don't even do the live calls. They just do the archive recordings. We just hit 500 archive recordings, and every one of them you're in one of them. You were a guest presenter, like I said, 2.5 years ago, Yeah. So there's a lot of power there, a lot of incredible good resource for your healing and awakening journey. If you vibe with me, you'll already know if you vibe with Benjamin or not. And if so, you're welcome to explore my offerings. And if not, there's a gazillion other awesome spiritual teachers you can follow. So, that's why there's so many of us, is because everyone has their unique vibration and you want to link up with the particular teacher or path that's working for you right now. Yeah,
exactly. And I just want to go back and say this again, because I did get sidetracked. I'll be honest. I got sidetracked by a weird message on the chat there. But What I wanted to reiterate was the fact that, Benjamin has the beautiful freebies on that will actually walk you through it. He has the incredible book that will give you the concrete hard copy in your hands or an e-book form. But what's really important about the book is that there are practical experiences that other people are sharing in there that also give you guidance on how it may help you in different aspects of your life. And I think that's what I really wanted to get across, is how important that piece of that is, because of what you've put into the book and how your people have responded to it.
Yeah, there are several dozen little actual stories of people's real life experiences using the invocations.
Yeah, exactly. Very important. So Benjamin, this has been an incredible day. Just, what a way to wake up and start the day working with you, the AstroShaman, like right off the bat. We got together. That'll be coming up on your show. And here we've been on my show. Is there anything else that you want to wind up and say about the book or about yourself?
There's just one message coming through that I just want to give to whoever is hearing this, which is I'm going to make a wild guess and say most of the people who are receiving this have some desire to serve the global collective in some way, directly or indirectly. And what I can't emphasize enough is the most valuable service you can give to the collective is to cultivate your own healing and awakening. I already told the story of how when I was training to be a shamanic practitioner, right? I kept being told, just do your healing work and be in the ceremony like anyone else. Okay. So remember that my own experience has been the level of service I can give now at my current level of awakening is just, hundreds of times better than I could have given 10 years ago. And hopefully I'll be able to say the same thing 10 years from now. It's got even better. So never neglect your own personal work. Do your own awakening, your own healing work as that's the prime mission of a global servant. And just know that you can't even imagine how good it's going to get. And not only will your own life become more wonderful because of that, but your service capacity will go off the charts, literally more than you could even comprehend right now. So please don't neglect your own awakening and your own healing. And that will magnificently supercharge the work you're doing for others. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. That's what I did in November. I took the whole month. I totally get it. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Benjamin. Again, you guys can find him at the astroshaman.com and
Well, actually, it's just astroshaman.com. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep, that's what I meant. This is what I've been sharing with everybody, astroshaman.com.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Thanks. Sorry.
I'm just using the instead of a. It's not capital T. Anyway, yeah, you can find him at astroshaman.com. Thank you for clarifying that. I think that's really important. And it's been a pleasure. It truly has been a pleasure. And we'll see what happens to our paths and how they cross in the future. Thank you so much, Benjamin.
Yeah, I feel tremendous resonance with you, Sandra. I feel like we're doing very similar work in a really beautiful way. So I'm so glad that we've connected. Thank you.
Thank you.